Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to another session with Michael and I. And we're here on the 26th of August, 2023. We're doing our second session after just finishing an XXL, or you could even say it quadruple XL. No, it was very, very large session on the whole 007 series and how that related to Bruce Lee and the man with the golden gun. And here we see a picture of a bus, probably from Asia, I would assume, Michael, with a salute
Hong Kong, yes.
to Hong Kong, a salute to our legend, Bruce Lee. And it has 80, is that 80?
80 years old in 2020, yeah, that's why the people are wearing masks.
2020, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, boy, that really wasn't that long ago, and we have people still wearing masks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way it goes. You know, you believe what you want to believe, Michael.
The problem is that people do not read books. Otherwise, if they would only read books about medical issues or biology, study themselves, they would see that that absolutely has no effect. Because you would
just look at what... Go ahead.
If there would be a threat outside, the only thing that would protect you would be an autark and isolated air supply. You see, you would have to have an oxygen support on your back, like a diver or so. That's and a big biological chemical warfare mask on yourself. Otherwise, it does not make any sense. Because, for example, you can also be infected in your eyes. Yeah, so this entire thing it bears absolutely all logic and with all common sense. It's just hilarious, strange that people really buy that stuff. You cannot isolate yourself against a threat which comes on your in your breathing, in your nasal, because you see that everything you would inject in your blood would also would nevertheless infect your nasals and tissue and all the stuff. So
Michael,
it
we're
makes
dealing
no
with
sense.
we're dealing with a social problem. This is not something that is being addressed as a you know, who do you want to believe?
It's just a fear-mongering thing. You see that it's just like
bringeth the snare.
Yeah, it's like the atomic bomb, which never explodes. It's just like this acid rain that have been threatening us in the 1980s, and the trees are still standing, even on the narrow path. Even the trees are standing on the motorway here in Germany, on the Autobahn. There are a bunch of trees.
This is so ridiculous. You know, when I was going to school back, when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I was thinking, well, what's going to happen in the future when we run out of gasoline?
Yeah.
Because we were taught peak oil, that we were going to run out of gasoline. There wouldn't be any way to drive your cars, and we'd have big troubles in the future. Well, guess what? It was all BS. All of it. Because we still have cars. Cars have gotten bigger, not smaller. At least in the States, Michael. It's ridiculous how much... I don't know where to start. But yeah, Michael, it's just incredible the amount of control, let's say.
Yeah, disinformation means lies.
Yeah.
You see, that's the problem.
Right.
You see that in the 80s they had some cars available with hydrogen. And the electric car is not an invention of Mr. Musk. This is an invention of 100 years ago or so. So they were planning that decades or at least decades before.
Sure. Like a golf cart. A golf cart is basically an electric car. They've been around for a very long time. I mean, even this bus we're looking at is electric.
Yeah, wheelchairs, for example, also.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What we are facing is that no one cares for the truth, and there is now the beginning of the disinformation age.
Well, that's because, Michael, it's not socially acceptable. The truth isn't even socially acceptable. You can't even accept it socially, so no one's interested in it. They want to be social. They want to be current. They want to be up to date. They want to wear the latest clothes so they're not stared at funny and they fit right in. See, everyone has to fit in line.
Especially in China. In China, you see that all these pupils are wearing uniform. Unheard of in the United States, I think, and also in Germany. But in China, they are all just wearing uniforms. Or in Japan also, for that concern. Yeah, but that's the problem with it. You see that the individual does not count. The only thing that counts is the society, and people are making the rules and the laws and the governments. And some people have foreknowledge. Like George Orwell, who happened to be in the United Kingdom in the Second World War in the Ministry, not of Truth, but the Information Ministry. What's it in the case of George Orwell? I always forget.
If you want to learn about what happened to Great Britain, it's just Oxford is, it's before that even. It's John Henry Newman, the Cardinal. Yeah, I just look at his life and you get the idea what's going on there.
So much so. Censorship Department of the Ministry of Information in Central London. Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah. BBC. And all the stuff, and I have additional information which is not covered here in Wikipedia, for example. But Ministry of Truth is coming from his novel 1984. Yeah, and he was in the censorship department of the Ministry of Information in Central London. What tells you that they censor information? Yeah, so he knew exactly what he was talking about when he was coming up with the Ministry of Truth, which is just here coming from another website. It has nothing to do with the dance, but it's just the Ministry of Information and Ministry of Truth. If you just want to search that, not Google that, because I'm just using common sense language. If you search that Ministry of Truth, you will inevitably,
inevitably.
Yeah, thank you. Come to this book of George Orwell, The Ministry of Truth, 1984. Yeah,
The Ministry of Truth. Yes.
Yeah, which is then the mini-true. Or you can also make another abbreviation, MOO. That's the Ministry of Truth. Yeah, but it's the Ministry of Truth. What is ministry?
Yes, the 1200, does it say C1200 ministry? The office or function of a priest, a position in a church or a monastery, service in matters of religion. Yes.
If you now see the end of the explanation, that's very interesting.
Yes, inferior servant, priest, assistant.
Yeah. What is your minister then? Westminster, England, for example. Prime Minister. What does it mean?
Oh, that means above.
Yeah, the usual minister, but the term minister, nevertheless, you're the best minister, but even the prime minister is inferior and a servant and a priest assistant.
Oh,
so the church rules the state. That's what ministry is about.
Yes, exactly. There's no separation between church and state. No. It's the church is much higher than the state.
You only have to look for the meaning of words, unless they will take the language away and introduce their new common language, which is most likely a strange combination about some mumbling and some smileys. Yeah, because people will
in terms of religion, Michael, if you ask me personally, I would say that doctrine is the overriding principle of all religion. It's all in doctrine. So when you know the doctrine, you know the religion, period. Same is true with teaching. You teach doctrine. Doctrine relates to science. Doctrine is science. It's the same blank, blank thing, okay?
What really scares me is that I have seen all the people following the official explanation and just trying to keep track of your neighbor and just watch. And so this is the same mindset like in the Third Reich almost 100 years ago. That all people were just raising their right hand because they follow their leader who is just presenting the true, so-called truth on the propaganda ministry. Propaganda ministry. Propaganda? Do we have to look it up? No, I don't think so.
No, we know what that is. We've been through it so many times.
Yeah, but you see that propaganda ministry, you see that they tell you right in the face, but people are just too busy to make any kind of research.
True. Yeah. Committee of Cardinals in charge of foreign missions. Oh, what's missions? Oh, yeah. Of the Catholic Church. There we go, Michael. Sums it up. This is from 1718. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, you can make a really long and frightening sentence out of it. You only have to incorporate mission.
Yes, that's correct. Very important to incorporate mission.
Oops.
Yeah. Is sending abroad as an agent originally of Jesuits from Latin. Can't read Latin.
Yeah, no. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do the following. I'm just trying to combine all the dots.
Yes.
Yeah, so propaganda ministry is absolutely clear. But if we add mission to it, so propaganda ministry means
inferior to the priest.
So that's propaganda ministry, or ministry of propaganda. That's the same thing around. Sorry, I'm a little bit late here. So copy paste. So propaganda ministry means the inferior, the servants, the priest assistants of the committee of cardinals in charge of foreign missions of the Catholic Church. That's what the propaganda ministry is actually.
You could say in charge of foreign sending out of Jesuits.
Yeah, that's what I. Yeah, that's church, what I don't. Yeah. That's I wanted to incorporate. I said a long sentence. Yeah. So in service in matters of religion. So foreign missions.
There you go.
So abroad.
Maybe it would work better by saying Jesuits from the Catholic Church, yeah. Probably. Instead of the. There you go.
So like in Bruce Lee in Game of Death, how do you like that? Huh? So the propaganda ministry is the inferior, the servants, the priestly system of the committee of cardinals in charge of foreign sending out of agents originally of Jesuits from the Catholic Church. Maybe it needs a little bit of fine-tuning.
Yeah. But historically, this is the truth.
Okay, then we can do it more specific. Oh, sorry. So now it's very sharp. Yeah, so the propaganda ministry is the inferior, oh, I can make it, yeah, I can make it even better. The inferior servants, like priest assistants of committee of cardinals in charge of foreign sending of Jesuitical agents from the Catholic Church. How do you like that? So all your ministers, they are just servants.
Agents should be plural, though. Agents.
Thank you.
Right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, we can do it much more. Can even... Okay.
Mm-hmm. Close enough.
Mm-hmm. Maybe attribution here of a committee of cardinals. Inferior servants, like priest assistants of a committee of cardinals in charge of foreign sending of Jesuit agents from the Catholic Church. So your entire political system is corrupt. It's just obeying the Pope. Minister. Yeah, that's it. And they serve an agenda. What does agenda mean?
It says originally theological, quote unquote, matters of practice.
Sorry.
As opposed to things to be believed, matters of faith. Literally, things to be done. Interesting.
So matters of faith. Yeah, so they are putting out things that you have to believe. Things to be believed, not things that are fact, things that are true. No, an agenda means things to be believed. Matters of faith. We're not talking about truth here. It is like 2020.
Yeah, that's correct. Absolutely. Well, hey, look. Go to the United Nations, Agenda 2030.
Yeah, or Agenda 201.
Agenda 21, yeah. That's right. Oh, yeah, Event 201, I think is what you...
Oh, sorry, yes, Event 201, yeah. Sorry,
Event 201.
It's close to midnight. Sorry.
No problem. I'll catch you on that.
You know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
I'm not making anything up. I'm just comparing words. And this is what I think the future generation would not be capable of, because they will have a restricted internet, because, you can't say that. It's not politically correct.
And not only that, but, their theme... I think it's more of a generational thing. We were more transitional children of the 80s coming out of the old school into, the computer age. And now they're purely in the computer age, the children of the 21st century.
Yeah, it's very fascinating. And
so they haven't
terrifying.
learned the skills of critical thinking, Michael.
Yeah, they can't concentrate anymore because they are being bombarded with users' information on purpose, of course.
Yeah, Michael, they can't isolate themselves. They're not willing to isolate themselves and say enough of this BS and walk away and start researching on their own because it's too much work. No, it's not too much work. It's not that hard. It's actually really simple, right, Michael?
Yeah, we are doing all this work here every Sabbath for years now.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
It's in the mindset. It's all in the attitude. If you have a poor attitude, you do poor work. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, that's why in the continuation of Bruce Lee, to sum it up in the end, because I think that is close to 30 sessions then, we will see that it all begins with the all roads, that will all lead to some end.
All roads lead to Rome,
Yeah, you see that it will all get together again. So that therefore, I know why I'm doing it in this line of order, because I just want to show you bit for bit how it should be connected, or how it is connected. And therefore, we have to step back from last session of 007 with all these Freemason references and all the stuff. We have to step back to Freemasonry in general, because when we know that John F. Kennedy ritual was Freemasonry killing of the king, then maybe there's more to it. So Freemasonry in general, it's not just a club of old grown men who wants to build something that is just a fairy tale. We can't go into anything, but Freemasonry is the official esoteric order ruling the United States of America, because it has been made of the pillars of Freemasonry, with Freemason George Washington setting the foundation of it. And as you see that Freemasonry more or less is just the evangelical arm of the Catholic Church when it comes down to secret services. So it is just one thing to distract the people. They are worshipping Lucifer. They are worshipping Satan. What else we would name him? They rely on the Bible, but the interpretation of them is always incorrect on purpose, because they want to lead the people astray. So if you've been not closely related, or you're not familiar with Freemasons, they serve the purpose that they claim to have been built the Tower of Babel. They rely heavily on numerology, especially on the 11 for Genesis 11, the building of the Tower of Babel, especially also on Egyptian rites, because many of them believe that the cradle of mankind is in Egypt with the trinity of Isis, Horus, and Set. And they will actually claim that this is the oldest civilization in mankind, which it isn't, because they have to distract you away from the Church of Babylon, or they have to distract you away from the real truth. Therefore, you will be bombarded with Freemason symbolism without even knowing it. The square and the compass, for example, and Gmail. Yeah, so you know that G, the big G, the capital G, can mean anything. Can mean God, can mean gnosis, can mean anything. But it's very interesting when you have Google and when you have Gmail. Then it's very interesting when you see there are also Vietnamese soldiers called GIs. Yeah, so it's an I, E-Y-E, and a G. Yeah, so it is not in the script here, but nevertheless. So it's just Masonry is just a secret society. And many very devilish and evil people out there are Freemasons, as well as many American presidents are Freemasons. For example, here Theodore Roosevelt and all this stuff. But let's just make a long story short. You can you can learn yourself what Freemasonry is all about. I don't want to go into anything. There is a subdivision, or actually a predecessor of Freemasonry, which is Rosicrucianism. Yeah, it's an ism. Yeah, so it is an agenda. Yeah, it is something, the doctrine, you have to believe it or not. And Rosicrucianism is a school of abstract Kabbalism, symbolism, and wisdom to the Saturn cult, a predecessor to modern Freemasonry. And that's not what Wikipedia actually tells you. Rosicrucianism. It's a 17th century spiritual and cultural movement that arose in Europe in the early 17th century after the publication of some text and announcing a new esoteric order. A new world order. Rosicrucianism is symbolized by the Rosy Cross or Rose Cross. Yeah. And you will have so many explanations here, and they won't tell you that it is a part of a counterfeit religion, actually. It's a part of a series of Hermeticism, and then you know there is no truth in it, except that this is the same as Freemasonry on another time, so to speak, because this is just how to say that? You see, that is just one esoteric school between other esoteric schools. The largest Rosicrucian order. You see also there rose in the middle, and then that is there is so much to it. The order of the Golden Dawn, Hermeticism. All these abbreviations. Yeah. Order of the Golden Dawn. They also have the petal rose in the rose in the middle. And they're also their light. They are looking the light, Hermetic order. Where is that? I know I need that picture here. Come on. Yeah, that very picture here. Yeah, with the rose in between. So in the middle. With the cross, a rose cross in the middle of the Order of the Golden Dawn, and it is just another thing of Freemasonry with a pentagram and blah, 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 and all the stuff. Yeah, okay? Okay.
Yeah.
So I found that very interesting when I came down to the research, and one of my absolute favorite researchers is Tom Bleecker, who happened to be the second husband of Bruce Lee's widow, Linda Lee. Yeah. Found that very interesting because his book on the subject, which was long been very highly discussed upon, is The Life and Death of Bruce Lee, or Unsettled Matters, and it resembles a rose on the picture. And I said, that is very interesting. A rose on the picture. I said, okay, very interesting. But who knows? Yeah, you see that. Who knows? Maybe it's just a sign of admiration. I do not know. I came across Freemasonry in general and Rosicrucian in special when I was looking up some people who are just trying to put down the finger to Christianity, and one of them was actually Reverend Billy Graham, America's evangelist from for 100 years actually, 1918 to 2018. And that's a video of Tom Bleecker also. He's recalled the day I met Reverend Billy Graham. I said, Billy Graham, interesting. Tom says, I'm a Catholic now, today, but prior to that, I was Jehovah's Witness and all the stuff. And he says, Catholic Mass, that is very meaningful to me. He should have not said that, because I see that in the background here with the Catholic Mass. That is really a Mass, because that is just celebrating Christmas, which, Tom, I have to say, is not a Christian holiday. It is not Christian at all. It is a Roman feast of the invincible Sun, Sol Invictus. Yeah, it has nothing to do with the birth of Jesus Christ whatsoever. And the Roman Catholic Church is not the Church of Jesus Christ. It's the...
I would tell Tom to read that book by, I'm trying to think of the name now. This book, Michael, that refutes all of the old traditions and proves that...
Rulers of Evil, or what?
No, not Rulers of Evil. The book, I have it sitting in the other room, and I can't even think of the name right now. This one...
from Alexander Hislop.
Yes.
From Babylon to Rome. The two Babylons, the two
Babylons, thank you. Yeah, you would tell Tom, you got to get this book, and also get the book... what's that other one now that compares Roman Catholicism to Bible-based faith? That one is I can't think of that one either right now.
I know what you mean. Ralph Woodrow.
Yeah, that's a good one. But this one's more specific, and it's very detailed, and it goes through carefully all the doctrines bit by bit. So he would understand that the Mass is nothing more than a false sacrifice, because the true sacrifice is Jesus Christ, of course. And they've replaced all of that in Catholicism now. So Catholicism is a replacement for true Christianity. Whereas if you've learned, the scriptures by themselves, remember the Bible and the Bible alone, then you would understand that it's a usurped religion. Catholicism takes the place of Christianity. That's why so many really good researchers have trouble with Christianity, and they don't see it as Catholicism. They replace the truth with a lie. So essentially, the lies have drowned out the truth. That's the problem. And it's nothing to offend Tom or anyone. It's just the fact of the matter is that, our traditions have outweighed the truth now. And there's so much tradition, not only in the Catholic Church, but also in the evangelical or Protestant Church. There's the tradition there too. And those traditions have had trouble. The traditions are outweighing what the Spirit of Christ is all about, which is really about, hey, study the Word, become a Berean. That's really where the faith should be, is if you want to be a real Christian, become a Berean. I don't care what you want to believe in terms of doctrine, but if you're a Berean, you use the Bible as your source for the truth. And then you can use the Bible to correct the error. And that's the trouble with modern times, is that, okay, let's go in history. So we have to historically prove that the Bible is correct. And that leads to another entirely different study, but I think it's a very valid study. It's like that little book that you and I and Jörg Lissman went through about, the
Simon
divine
Magus,
program, the
divine program
of the world's history. Very important little study. And it shows that, historically, we've been duped. And it's not that big a deal, really. But it is a big deal when you weigh in the traditions, because the Catholic traditions, the Christmas, the Easter, all of the different things, when you go through the book, The Two Babylons, it clearly shows you that all came from Babylon. So it's the golden head of, Daniel. I forget which chapter, first few chapters of Daniel, when Nebuchadnezzar had his dream and he couldn't remember it, and then Daniel prayed and the angel came and gave Daniel the truth. And Daniel went and delivered the truth to Nebuchadnezzar, and Nebuchadnezzar honored Daniel from that point on. Very, very interesting study in the book of Daniel. And of course, Daniel is the big prophetic book in the Old Covenant, the Old Testament. And then you weigh that up against the book of Revelation, which is the big prophetic book in the New Covenant, the New Testament. So,
yeah, I think it was Daniel chapter 2.
Yeah, that sounds right. Daniel chapter 2.
Yeah, so one of the hopes I have from that session is not that only that Brew 3 item, but that people really see that the Bible is correct and that they all been lied to all of their life. And Tom is just one example.
He's Tom. It's all of us. That's the point.
Yeah. But Tom is just a writer.
Yes.
Not just, he's a script writer and an actor in Hollywood. And he's known to many people in Hollywood, right. And he's part of Hollywood, and therefore I think that he has a more harder task even to see the truth, because he just is surrounded by all these people.
Well, you grew up Catholic, Michael, and I have dozens and dozens of friends that have grown up Catholic, and you can't just tell them that everything you believe is wrong. It doesn't work like that. There are certain things that are somewhat true, but then there are big problems like the Mass, because the Mass itself is a false sacrifice. The priest is taking a wafer and saying that it's Christ in the flesh in the Catholic
So you see,
Church.
There is no mentioning of the Pope in the Bible. Yeah, so that's the first thing. So there is nobody like the Pope who said in 1950 that Mary's ascending into heaven is doctrine that is not part of the Bible. So do you believe a man or do you believe in the Bible? So it's just one way or the other. And in the Bible, there are so many differences and so many things being explained and laid out. There are no 3 holy kings in the Bible and thousands of stuff. So this is all just being a man-made religion to be a counterfeit, so that the people are being blinded by all these precious things, by all these golden cups, by all these worldly possessions and all the stuff. And so that I really hope that people will really see behind the curtain. And that's why I just showed him as an example.
Yes, the book is Roman Catholicism by Lorraine Bettner. That's it. Yeah, Roman Catholicism by Lorraine Bettner. And that book goes through carefully all the doctrines and lays them side by side. And it's a really calm study. It's a really easy study. And it just lays it out right before your eyes. And, you know, especially if you've done any kind of teaching in the church or have been involved in the church, it will have an impact on you, like it did with me, because I've been involved with the church.
Can you tell me what Can you tell me what I'm doing wrong here, Laureen? What's the name?
Oh, it's Laureen, Lorine.
Ah,
there you go, Laureen, Lori.
There it is. Okay,
E.
I see. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Lorraine Bettner. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
That's it. Okay. So that book is long out of print.
Okay.
There are, I think there are possibly copies, but they're hard to find, harder to find. They're not impossible to find. You certainly can find them.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're on eBay. They're on Abe Books. They could be on Amazon, but I wouldn't trust Amazon because they're, kind of, people that are selling books on Amazon are charging way too much money, in my opinion.
See, every time I'm trying to do the search on Google, it's getting worse and worse on the internet. You see, it's such unbelievable times here.
Yeah, right.
No, I don't want to translate it, but Catholicism. Yes, you see that Lorraine Bettner, does not come.
No, that's the wrong spelling. Yeah, that's the wrong spelling.
What's wrong?
Lor. It's I. Lori.
With one I.
Or Lorin. Yep, that's it. I think that's it. Right?
Yeah,
Lorraine. I'm sorry. Loraine. That's
okay.
Screwed up.
Okay.
Not an E,
so
but
now
an
we
A.
got it. Okay. Mm-hmm.
That's the one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see that we hope that many people will follow our just small footprints, that they really see how they have been betrayed and how the world has really been run by the Vatican, and that they don't have anything to do with Trump and Kennedy's and all this stuff. Kennedy himself was a victim of a Freemason ritual being handed out by the Vatican or superseded by the Vatican. And if you don't believe it, then you have to look upon the real truth. Maybe on our channels, as long as there are. But let's get back to the nitty-gritty here. So, Tom is believing in a God. Obviously, he can't believe then in evolution theory, which is a good thing. Okay? He says he was connected with Jehovah's Witness, with the Mormon temple, and I was living with a rabbi family and all this stuff.
Man. Wow, so Masonry, big time.
Everybody is talking to him that they got a secret key to knowledge and the absolute truth, which is not correct.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Mormons are very tied to Freemasonry, kind of like the Baptists are, yeah.
Yeah, so when I came up with one comment to a video, and Tom has been told that about your video of I met Billy Graham in person. Somebody said Billy was a Mason, and Tom's answer is indeed very commendable. A Mason is a man who professes a faith in God. As a man of faith, he uses the tools of moral and ethics truth to serve mankind. The problem is God has no copyright, and even Satan is depicted in the Bible as the God of this world. If I remember correctly, 2 Corinthians 4:4. That is just by memory here. I don't have the absolute truth, and it is close to midnight here. So I'm not that 100% concentrated here. But that's here about Satan. What you care to read it, Brett?
Sure. In whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the glorious light of the gospel, or the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them.
Mm-hmm. Also interesting, huh? That the Christ is the image of God. So everybody who says, "Oh no, Christ is just a man," it's the image of God. Interesting. Yeah.
Yes, but it says here, in whom the God of this world, in lowercase g, meaning the deceiver of this world, hath blinded the minds. He's deceived us. We have to admit that we've been deceived in order that we can be humble, in my opinion, Michael.
We're speaking about the King James Bible 1611 here, the original version. So I'm not sure that in the majority of the more than 300 fake Bibles out there, that it is not a capital G, but a capital G. You see, that to confuse... to
further confuse people. Yeah.
So we would advise everybody to use the authorized King James Bible 1611 on that regard. Not the New King James Bible, not the ESV, not any other literature on that. Okay. So therefore, a Mason is a man who professes a faith in God, but they are serving Lucifer. So everybody knows that, and everybody who is really deep into the subject knows that.
Well, in order to prove that, you can prove it simply by looking at that book that Albert Pike wrote called Morals and Dogma. And in Morals and Dogma, it's said clearly in there that the God they worship is Lucifer. And that's the top, you're talking the tippy top of Freemasonry there, aren't you? When you're talking about Albert Pike.
Freemason is a secret society. Jesus did not do anything in secret. So therefore, they have to hide something. And we have done so many sessions about Freemasonry and the killing of Kennedy. So I think that is enough for this stuff. But I have really a high concern that I would like to have Tom as a Bible-believing Christian, you see, not as a Pope-believing Catholic, but a Bible-believing Christian. That would be my goal for the entire series. That if he comes ever across that sessions or somebody else who's close to him, that you say that, Tom, you have to listen without prejudice. These guys there have some strange fantasy or some strange tale, but look at this and. Then out of a sudden everything makes sense. You see that he will be bombarded with Freemasonry his entire life, and he thinks that is the norm, that is normal. Because you see that if he has worked together with so many people, and there are so many Freemasons around Hollywood, so that is for his daily bread, that's his entire life. So that is for that's authenticity, this is the truth. Because everybody does it, you see. Yeah? And Tom is not correct when he says here, while you are certainly entitled to your opinion, I feel strongly that you would be hard-pressed to find Christians who would agree with your position that the highly respected Reverend Billy Graham is not a Christian. And I have to disappoint Tom on that regard. Here are two examples, Brad and me, who are Bible-believing Christians, who are really thinking that a Freemason, one who's serving Lucifer, one who's not into the scripture, one is trying to deceive people, and one is a member of a secret society, is not a real reborn Christian.
A really important thing, Michael, I would just add to what you just said by saying you're secretly worshiping Lucifer. You're not openly serving Lucifer or worshiping Lucifer. You do it secretly. That's what they do.
If you don't,
they don't let you raise your levels of knowledge until you have proved that you're worthy of it. in Freemasonry. So what they do is they have the first 3 levels of Freemasonry, and they have the exoteric teaching, and then they have the esoteric teaching. So yeah, esotericism is a big, huge problem, because basically you're just completely not telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth. You are essentially just completely using doctrines of equivocation and mental reservation. It's no different than the Catholic Church. It's the same thing. Get your Catholic encyclopedia, look up equivocation, look up mental reservation. And, you know, yeah, you can say a good Christian can use those, because then look at the, you know, I had mentioned that to someone that I work with, and he's like, oh, yeah, just look at what happened with, didn't it say that we're supposed to, what was that, Michael, about the 10 Commandments? Bear something about bearing false witness.
Yeah, bearing false witness. Yeah, second.
Yeah, you're not supposed to bear false
second book.
witness.
I want to say that is in German. In English, it is Exodus. Yeah,
Exodus. Yeah. Exodus,
in German, we say
20.
second book of Moses, but.
Yeah, no, bearing false witness is very important in this case, because we're supposed to be bearers of salt and light. And in order to do that, we don't keep secrets from each other in the body of Christ. We don't do that. That's something the world does. Yeah, when you're a member of a secret society, you do that. You keep your secrets. Oh, yeah, I suppose.
I was just reminded on the Kennedy sessions, but I can't find that quote where it says in the Catholic Encyclopedia, I think it was volume 11 or so, the truth he proclaimed under oath is relative and not absolute. Yeah, so they don't speak the truth. The truth we proclaim under oath is relative and not absolute. And when you then know that Albert Einstein, who made that theory of relativity, is a Freemason, then you don't wonder that the Freemasons have been ruled by the Catholic Church. Greater Houston Ministerial Association Q&A. Yeah, wow. The Kennedy session. Truth. So
there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah. In yellow.
Yeah. Article on Perjury, Catholic Encyclopedia, Volume 11, page 696. The truth we proclaim under oath is relative and not absolute. Explanation of Catholic morals. So I don't want to have a religion, a truth in God, in an almighty God who condemns people and who commands people to speak the truth and not to bear false witness, being explained by mortal men called priests, who say the truth we proclaim under oath is relative and not absolute. Sorry, I stick with the Bible. I stick with the Word of God. I stick with God himself and Jesus Christ as the only begotten Son, and not with any man, because we all make mistakes. But I do not want to have any explanation of any Roman Catholic Church when this Roman Catholic Church has not the absolute truth. So don't believe in an absolute God. God is almighty and therefore absolute.
Yeah, you're right, Michael. It's a relative God. They think they can actually command Christ into a wafer.
Unbelievable. And that the priest can forgive sins.
Over and over again. That's the Mass.
The Bible speaks about that Jesus Christ is the final sacrifice. It is finished. And the Bible speaks not about repetitive prayers like in the Mary's, what is it? Come on, help me out.
The
rosary. Yeah, the rosary. The rosary is not incorporated into the Bible. It is just man-made fiction theologically. That has nothing to do with truth. No. It has nothing. The holy feast day is Sabbath. It's you say it the day of Saturn, which is not. It's Sabbath. It's the day before Sunday. It's not Sunday. The Roman Catholic Church is Sunday worship. It's nothing else.
Correct.
It's just
it's Roman Sunday. It's Roman Sunday that the world's into. That's what they want. They want Rome. They don't want Christ.
Yes.
They don't want the true Christ.
Rome
Because if
always
they had
was
the true Christ, they'd be crying every moment of their day.
Rome,
they don't want to cry. They want to sit around and celebrate all the time.
Rome always was
problem.
the enemy of Jews. It was Rome. Yeah. Jerusalem is the city of God, the holy city, and not Rome. You see that. We hope that people would really stick their eyes to the Bible instead of watching some Hollywood movies. So let's get back. You see that I'm sorry about Billy Graham. If he is a Freemason, he's not a Christian. You can't have both. You cannot serve Lucifer and Jesus at the same time. You see, that's a problem that Helena Blavatsky told in their secret doctrine. The problem is that Adonai, speaking of another name for Jesus, is God, and Lucifer is also, or Lucifer is God, and Adonai is also God. Yeah, so that you see that they mix everything around. Lucifer or Satan is just a created being. Point blank.
It's called double-mindedness.
Yeah.
Double-minded. We're not supposed to be double-minded at all. Keep your eye single, the Bible says. Keep your eye single. That's singular, not plural. You do have two eyes, you have two ears.
You see,
but I mean, you have one mouth, don't you? You only have one mouth, you only have one tongue. So your mind guides your tongue in what you say.
You see that everything here in Freemasonry and their derivatives and Rosicrucianism and all the stuff, it serves another purpose. I can tell you that my mother told me when I was young boy at the age of 10, 11 or so, he told me that my grandfather was member of the Freemasons. And I did not have any intention to, I said, okay, Maurer, Freemasons, Masons, they do something with stone. I said, yeah, he was, he does some handcraft, yeah, something, they build something, I do not know. And later on, my mother told me, yeah, they were into seances and they were just moving tables and all this stuff. What does that have to do with Christianity, with real Christianity, with the Bible, who forbids all kind of sorcery?
Yeah, that's right.
And who would forbid to play as an actor, because that bears false witness, yeah, if you pretend to be somebody else, or if you write some fiction, yeah, which is also bearing false witness, because these events never have happened.
Actor has to do with being something, putting on a false appearance, being something that you're not. So we're all trained this way, Michael. This is really super basics 101 of growing up and learning is when you are a child and you learn to be an actor, then I can do whatever I want. Do as thou wilt, huh?
Yeah, it's like carnival. You see that everybody's running around the mask voluntarily. Yeah.
Like a carnival, yes.
Like a carnival, yeah. Yeah, you imagine the official founder of Rosicrucianism is called Christian Rosenkreuz, so Rosecross, a legendary, possibly allegorical founder of the Rosicrucian order, which, in my humble opinion, never existed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these were published. These manifestos were published in 16 something, close after the King James Bible in 1611, close after the Spanish Armada tried to...
close after the Counter-Reformation, too.
Close after the Counter-Reformation, everything. You see that, that it is something of a counterfeit religion. Yeah,
absolutely.
When their founder never have existed. Yeah, so it was a legend. There was a medieval German aristocrat, orphaned at the age of 4, raised in a monastery. You know where it all comes from, huh? You know where it all comes from. Comes from some monasteries.
Listen to this. Yeah, orphaned at the age of 4 and raised in a monastery where he studied for 12 years. He discovered and learned esoteric wisdom, on a pilgrimage to the quote-unquote Holy Land among Turkish, Arab, and Persian sages, possibly Sufi or Zoroastrian masters, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly in the early 15th century. Okay, that's really a red flag to me.
Yeah, it looks like Santa Claus here. You see that sometimes I don't know where to start with a skull. Yeah, oh yeah, great. Come on. Really?
Necromancy, yeah.
Necromancy with the Babylonian wax candle and all this stuff. Yeah, with the cross symbols which are not Christian. No, the cross is not a Christian symbol. It's a pagan symbol of the sun. Yeah, so therefore Jesus Christ was not by accident been crucified on a wooden cross, because he was crucified to this Roman or to the pagan sun god, or in other terms as a letter T for Tammuz.
It was in ancient times the electric chair. One of my friends says, he's so right about that. My friend Eric said this so long ago. It's like, the cross is really just the electric chair of ancient times. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. Why would you want to wear an electric chair on your body? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, if you are a fan of Kennedy, you won't run around with a Manica Carcano rifle, although that was not the rifle which killed him. But you see that it's just a veneration of death. If you run around with a crucifix, it's a veneration of death. Yeah, but you see that I'm not nobility, I'm not a teacher, I'm not a Hollywood star. But that's my problem with it. You see that I'm faced with so many people inside this with this script who are inside actually the factory Hollywood, or in any kind of a guild circle or whatsoever, and to come out of that, you would lose all your social context and all the stuff, and it's very hard for people to do, because then they would face to be the outlaw. And nobody usually does want to be.
They would be in what in ancient times was called heretic.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're heretical to the system, then you're an outcast, and that's essentially what happens when you really counter the truth, in the sense of what doctrine do you stand for? What is it that makes your faith? Is it the doctrine of the 1611 King James Bible? I don't think so.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? You see that these people who are being seen by us, or being brought by us, by the mainstream media, as being highly intelligent and what else, like Rudolf Steiner, who has issued a public paper of Lucifer Gnosis. He has stated that Rosenkreuz later appeared as a Count of Saint-Germain, adventurer and alchemist who reportedly died. An alchemist, you see, somebody who's doing magic, trying to invoke
like
ghost
John
spirits
D. all over again,
right. You see, it's
all over again.
Where do you want to start? You see, where do you want to start? It's just a mess, You see that Rosenkreuz, Rosicrucianism, this is just a man who has been invented to fit the narrative of the rose and the cross. So he has to be named Rosicrucian, or in German Rosenkreuz, which is the rose cross.
And embracing the philosophy of the Rosicrucians. Okay, so it's all about philosophy. What is philosophy? Philosophy is another deception. It says in Colossians chapter 2, verse 8, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy. Very first thing. Philosophy is a big stumbling block. And that's why I actually kind of hate that term. Kind of reminds me of missions, Michael. The word missions, when I see that philosophy, I think the same thing.
When I read knowledge of all secrets, it reminds me of science of all secrets.
Sure.
And the Masons do not appear.
Knowledge of good and evil.
You see, the Rosicrucians are just one example of an order which has been established to draw the attention away from the real Satanic Church, to draw the attention back and to divide and conquer. Some are in the Freemasons, some other are in the Rosicrucians, some other are Jehovah's Witness, some others this, that, to create diversion all over the place. No one reads the Bible. No one reads the Bible with their own eyes. Everybody is following any leader, any brother, any supreme, any chief, any what else. This is the problem with it. They don't, as you said, they don't stick into a chamber and then they read a book for half an hour.
Well, look at the cross. What is that? It looks like fleur de lis on all four sides.
Is somebody surprised?
No, I mean this is how
because
it works.
Rosenkreuz, Christian Rosenkreuz, of course, he was nobility, the last descendant of Germelshaus, German family, which flourished, and Saint-Germain. You see that this all just these are supreme people.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's all the same. I just want to show you
heraldry, Michael. Heraldry.
Yeah, it's just want to show you that this is just has no foundation at all. Yeah. This is just a diversion put into Protestantism to divert the people. And then when it speaks about a monastery, you really know that the Roman Catholic Church in one way or another has started this Rosicrucian movement.
Yeah, that's one of the things, one of the very key things.
An alchemist. An alchemist. You see that? Oh, great. Yeah.
That's right. But I was just going to say, that's one of the key things from that book, the Divine Program of the World's History I got from it was that, mixing the doctrines. Mm-hmm. Jesuits mix doctrine. They don't teach pure doctrine. They always mix it up every single time.
Mm-hmm. So the original of Rosicrucian is Egyptian religion, Buddhism, Persian mysticism. You have the Magi with the magic and the alchemy, Knights Templars, and is an attempt of Luciferian bloodlines to conquer, and what else? History of Rosicrucianism. The rose represents Venus, planet of beauty, sexuality, music, art, fashion that makes a rose pattern. It symbolizes the light bringer Lucifer because the Venus has been seen as the rising star or the morning star, and Lucifer wants to be worshipped as such because of his 5 times I will. Do we have to implement it? I think that nobody will understand my explanation of it. The Venus pentagram. You see, first of all, Venus never existed. This is just a Roman name of Aphrodite, a Greek goddess who never existed. Yeah, you see, this is all BS. But the stationary positions of Venus on their circle around the sun, these just form the pentagram, so a 5-pointed star. So, and then, of course, Jesus said in Revelation 22:16, I am the bright and morning star. So, but Lucifer wants to be worshipped like the Almighty God, and Lucifer has been claimed or been titled as the son of the morning in the original King James Bible in Isaiah 14:12. Therefore, you can see every pentagram as a visualization of Lucifer. Now his name, of course, is Satan, the adversary, Lucifer, son of the morning. And so people are just seen in paganism, that people see these stars as kind of a deities. That's why the Egyptians, for example, they have just placed their pyramids to Orion, which has been seen as a representation of Osiris. So much so. So, this website wrongly accused that the invaders, which were once having a pre-Adamic race, they took over the human experiment and became the new gods. No, it's the other way around. Fallen angels have tried to corrupt God's creation by just mingling with the daughters of men, that's the so-called giants. So, but the rose and the cross, this is correct, represents the union of male and female. In the interpretation, follows, I don't want to read that. The cross is an ancient Aryan symbol of the sun, which is correct. In alchemy, the human material body must be crucified, quartered, broken down in its impure 4 elements.
Excuse me.
Uh-huh.
I just had to sneeze. Sorry.
I see. The 3 pyramids of Jesus were aligned with the belt of Orion, were called the House of Rostau, Taurus, the bull in the sky, representation of Duat. What else? According to myth, Egyptian psych almost created the first order of the rose, Orm French for elm, remember, Elm Street. Babylon for worm or serpent, sons as the serpent as holy grail bloodline. Sons of the serpent, you see this is fallen angels or the line of Cain. The rose is a symbol of mysteries of Isis in Rome, not only in Rome, but since the beginning, actually. The Latin, think of the Garden of Semiramis, which happened to be the wife of Nimrod, which was the rebel, which Nimrod actually means rebel. The Latin phrase sub rosa, or beneath the rose, means secrecy and comes from the time when Romans placed roses in their banquet chambers to symbolize the secrecy of what was said here, and roses were carved on confessionals. It has been also used as a term in intelligence and espionage. Now I present you a movie with Sean Connery, which has also portrayed James Bond, The Name of the Rose, from Umberto Eco. Huh? That is not the original. This original here with Sean Connery. So they made another one. Okay. In German, it's the Name der Rose, or the Name of the Rose.
Mm-hmm.
They believed in God but traded with the devil. How fitting, the Name of the Rose. When we read Rosicrucians, for example, rose means secrecy. Has been used as a term of intelligence and espionage. Of course, secret service. Rose. In medieval Rome, the Vatican owned bordellos on street with the word rose in their name, a word which acted as code for prostitution. Remember that Martin Luther, who once was in Rome, had a devastating comment about the city to make.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
I cannot recite it word by word, but it was very devastating.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I think, wasn't it... how did it go? If something,
if hell was on earth and Rome, what would it be? Its capital city or something like that?
Rome would be built on it. Rome would be built on hell. Yeah. Something to that
something
regard.
Like this. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If there was a hell, Rome would be built on it or something.
Yeah.
I forget.
To plug a rose was a common slang term for the act of procuring a prostitute. By the time of the Reformation, it was estimated that there were more than 100,000 prostitutes in London. I don't know how many in Rome, mainly supported by ecclesiastics. Yeah, because of their wrong interpretation of scripture, when the Roman Catholic Church demands celibacy. Yeah, although Saint Peter, where they claim it has been the foundation of the Roman Catholic Church was on Peter, which wasn't, because there is no substantiation, there is no proof that Peter ever was in Rome, because Peter was the apostle not to the Gentiles, but Paul was. Yeah, so Peter was in Minor Asia and in Judea and all the stuff, but never in Rome. And even Peter has been married.
Okay, here it is. If there is a hell, then Rome is built over it.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the quote.
Yeah. We were close.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. The rose also symbolized the mystic substance, a specific sort of dew. In Hebrew tell, dew as ice, frost. There are many midrashim that refer to dew as being the tool for ultimate resurrection. Deuteronomy 32:2, my doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew. I don't think that is the correct interpretation of it. Deuteronomy 32. Sorry, I'm just reading it for the first time, but I'm not convinced. It's a website made from people who are believing in a pre-Adamitic race, so there no Christians are trying to explain the Bible. Therefore, that I have highly doubted that is the correct interpretation. Give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender. Because I will publish the name of the Lord, ascribe your greatness unto our God. Yeah, I don't think that is the right context, Brett. What was the content of 31? Moses spake in the ears of all congregation of Israels. So it is Moses here who says, my doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass. Do we have to need to do a Bible session now on that? Ugh.
Yeah.
Come on. It's midnight.
Yeah. Michael, probably it's getting past your peak time to be doing sessions, huh?
I kann ja gerade hear you. I can hardly hear you.
Yeah, right.
No, it was just a joke. Bible. So Bible. Which book? Deuteronomy 32. 2. As the dew covering vegetation. Window commentary. A commanding preface or introduction to this song. A song of Moses. Interesting. Look, it begins with a solemn appeal to heaven and earth concerning the truth and importance of what he was about to say and the justice of the divine proceedings against rebellious and backsliding people. Yeah, where the Israelites were being famous for. Huh? For he had said...
And they're still famous for.
Yeah, that he would in this song call heaven and earth to record against them. Heaven and earth will sooner hear than this perverse and unthinking... Oh, that's a rude version here. Perverse and unthinking people. Wow. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there it is. You see, for they revolt not from the obedience to their Creator, but continue to this day, absolutely spot on from Matthew Henry, according to his ordinances as his servants, and therefore will rise up in judgment against rebellious Israel. Heaven and earth will be witnesses against sinners, witnesses of the warning given them and of their refusal to take the warning. The heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. Or heaven and earth are here put for the inhabitants of both angels and man. Both shall agree to justify God in his proceedings against Israel and to declare his righteousness. Psalm, see Revelation. He begins with a solemn application of what he was about to say to the people. Deuteronomy 32:2. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, it shall be a beautiful sweeping rain to the rebellious. So one of the Chaldee paraphrase expound the first clause. Rain is sometimes sent for judgment, witness that with which the world was deluged, and so the word of God, while to some it is reviving and refreshing, a savor of life unto life, it is to others terrifying and killing, a savor of death unto death. Oh. And it goes on and on and on. But first of all, it's a song. It is not an instruction, it is not a statement, it is a song of Moses to the Israelites. Give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. So, my doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew. That refers to the song that people will appreciate his prayers. But I don't see that it has something materialistic in his meaning. Sorry, I don't get in accordance to the interpretation of that website. A mystical substance, a specific sort of dew. In Hebrew, tell dew as ice frost, goddess Elsa, daughter of Zeus. Sorry, this is just the pagan explanation of it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There are many mitraism that refer to dew.
Oh, yeah, is that Mitraism?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I'm not just looking it up.
Mitraism? Or I don't know.
Expansive Jewish biblical exegesis. Mitraism using the...
mysticism. Okay. Is this mysticism?
Mitraism.
Yeah, right.
Midrashim. My. Midrashim. I can't do any short sessions. I'm so sorry.
No, it's the same.
Midrashim. Definition and meaning. A homily on a scripture passage derived by traditional Jewish exegetical methods and consisting usually of embellishment of the scriptural narrative. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is that close enough?
Well, this is a Jewish exegetical method. So it has to do more tradition than anything. So we already know that tradition is misleading. So go ahead, Michael.
Aha. You see, embellishment of the scriptural narrative. What does the Bible tell us? That you should not take any word away, or just not to add anything. And this is an embellishment of the scriptural narrative.
There you go. So it's false.
Yeah, I would say so. It's a song of Moses. It is not a construction on any herb or what else. It is
right.
It correct. Is just that Moses in that song prays to heaven and prays therefore that the people will understand him when he is praying, and he is comparing the things that the people are getting his message. Yeah, therefore I would say the meaning of that verse is my doctrine shall drop as the rain. So be fruitful on dry land. My speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herb, and the showers upon the grass. So it has everything to do with the first verse, give hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. But it is referring to the words of his mouth and not the fruits of the field or what else.
Well, you see there, Michael, it's just the same as if you have a righteous man and then you have a disobedient, what do you say?
Unfruitful.
Wicked man, a wicked man.
Yeah.
So you have wicked fruit and you have righteous fruit. There's two different kinds of fruit. Mm-hmm. So it's okay. Are you going to follow the instructions of righteousness, or are you going to follow the instruction of lawlessness? Your choice. Mm-hmm. It's not an easy answer, but that's often the case, isn't it?
So, my speech shall distill as the dew. My speech, that is a spiritual thing. That is not anything.
Correct. Yes.
What this website is trying to put to, the Jew as being the tool of ultimate resurrection. Sorry.
Oh, give me a break. This is all mysticism, Michael.
Yeah, this is absolutely untrue.
Well, yeah, because it's Jewish tradition, which we know tradition is the wrong way.
That's a problem when you have to
shoot it down instantly.
It's a problem when you have to rely on so many websites giving you interpretations of occultism.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then you
World
have to
is full of this. Yeah.
That's what always I really care of, and I.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Big problems. Yeah. Always.
Yeah. So in Rosicrucian imaginary, the cross sprinkled with the rosy blood of Christ. This is hilarious. Yeah. It's hilarious. It's absolutely BS because it's now mixing everything together here. Mm-hmm. The divine avatar of the innocent identified with the object of which he suffered and becomes himself a flower, a rose, a padma, a lotus, or lily. Yeah, there you got your three-folded plant. What is it? Fleur de lis. Yeah, lily. So the rose itself, the rose of the Rosicrucians, the rose in the middle, is mentioned in the Song of Solomon. I am the rose of Sharon, the lily of the valley.
Say, Michael, I have a big problem with when anyone talks about the blood of Christ, because you're talking about the sacrifice. You're talking about that, what we were just talking about before with the Mass. When you use a false sacrifice, then you're promoting a false teaching. So, of course, I mean...
Can we agree on the fact that the cross is a sun symbol? Can we agree that the rose in the center of that sun symbol is a 5-pointed star?
Pentagram.
Can we agree on the fact that the crucifix or the cross is an instrument of killing in the case of Jesus Christ? Yeah. So
correct.
Then you got your explanation of it already. You don't need even the entire pentagrams and all the other stuff here.
And look at that. Look at that. The 4 triangles there. like this could be also interpreted as the sign of Anu as well.
Yeah, this is of course only the sign of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. This is not Rosicrucian in its purest form. Crucianism. Oh yeah, this is really hard task, yeah. But you see, they always have a cross in the center with the color of red, which is the color of blood, and that's just the thing is that you always have five-pointed elements of five-pointed flowers in it. Yeah. So
again, what's the doctrine behind it? Because Rosicrucianism, but I think you're looking at the 5 solas here. That's another symbol. And that's Rosicrucianism?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second.
It's a flower inside a cross. That's Rosicrucian. No, but it's a rose inside a cross.
To the left, where your cursor is, there's a circle with a white this one.
Yeah.
Don't they use that symbol for the 5 solas as well? I've seen it used for the 5 solas.
I don't want to disappoint you, but maybe that we should cut out. But I have just seen something today.
Oh yeah.
This is the flag of Hong Kong on the left.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And on the right, that's the sign of Aleister Crowley's School of
Thelma, right?
Yeah. 5 pointed petals of a flower.
Yeah, of course.
It's the same as in Rosicrucian. It's Satanism. It's always the same, and it's even in the flag of Hong Kong.
Right. Mm-hmm. Of course, because it's Jesuit city, isn't it?
Yeah. In Aleister Crowley's dilemma, the hexagram is usually depicted with a 5-petaled flower in the center, which symbolizes the pentagram. The hexagram represents the heavenly, macrocosmic, and planetary forces, and is a symbol equivalent to the Rosicrucian rose cross or ancient Egyptian ankh. That's the official explanation on the Wikipedia page on Aleister Crowley, by the way.
That's right.
The 5 petals on the flower represent the microcosmic forces of 5 elements of the magical formula, Yahshua, and is a symbol equivalent to the pentagram of Pentacle. The 2 symbols together represent the interweaving of the planetary elemental forces. In the end, they will tell you that, okay, of course, the pentagram is a symbol of God.
The magical formula of Yahshua? What is this? This is hogwash, right?
Yeah. Where to start?
Bullshit.
I didn't want to show you all the stuff. You see, I'm
wow. No, but that's what we're dealing with here. I mean, this is it's really something.
When you start research, it's a never-ending story because it's a mess everywhere on this earth, everywhere.
Absolutely right.
So, let's face it here. In what appearance ever, Rosicrucians, Order of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, what else? Rosicrucians, a rose inside a cross, what else? I don't care. We speak about the following. It has a resemblance also, or can have a resemblance on the Bible. The rose is mentioned in the Song of Solomon. I am the rose of Sharon, the lily of the valley. And I said, doesn't remind you that of something?
Ooh, yeah.
Song of Solomon, I am the rose of Sharon and the lily of the valleys. Sharon Tate. So therefore, I thought, okay, and Rosicrucian involvement, when they have thought, okay, Sharon, that would be very fitting because Sharon means the rose of the valley.
Huh.
Yeah, I am the rose of Sharon, the lily of the valley. So Sharon is the meaning of Sharon is the rose or the lily of the valley. Quite simple. I'm not the first one who came up with that. Huh? Sharon means the rose of the valley. Or Rosenthal, that would be a Jewish family. One of the Rosicrucian family who control the Hollywood film industry. She played with a certain Leova Rosenthal in Valley of the Dolls. Yeah? Sharon, the Valley Sharon, the rose of the valley. Oh, perfect victim. Huh? Ah. Remember? Sharon, the rose of the valley. 5 slain. 5. Huh? 5 petals. In the Rosicrucian cross. Actress and 4 slain in ritual. So they admit, actually, that it was a ritual. It was not happening by accident or coincidence. Actress and 4 slain in ritual, huh? Yeah, ritual. Oh, kept me thinking.
Oh, yeah.
In classic fable, the garden of Midas, the king of the Phrygians, was situated at the foot of Mount Bermion and was glorified by the presence of roses with 60 petals, which exhaled an extraordinary fragrance. Brett, what was the translation of Hong Kong once again?
Fragrant port.
Yeah. So many coincidences, huh? And what is the symbolic? Come on, what's the... Come on, really? Huh? They could not take any roses because they had to use some sea flowers here. Sometimes I'm really desperate, you see, because you see that it's so obvious what and how the word is running, but... The Knights Templars with the Red Cross symbol. The founding of Switzerland in the 13 or whatsoever with the Red Cross.
Well, going back to that scripture quickly, Michael, the explanation of Sharon coming from Song of Solomon. Mm-hmm. Now, what was it with Freemasons? They're so obsessed with Solomon's temple, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So that might have something to do with it too.
So many stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Song of Solomon, yeah.
The rose of Sharon and the lily of the valley is to express his presence with the people in this world, his easiness and their access to him, and the beauty and sweetness which they find in him. The rose for beauty and fragrance, Fragrance Harbor, Hong Kong, is the chief of flowers, and our Savior prefers the clothing of the lily before that of Solomon in all his glory. Christ is the rose of Sharon, where probably the best roses grew, and in most plenty the rose of the field. Really?
Yeah, denoting that the gospel salvation is a common salvation. It lies open to all, whoever will may come and gather the rosebuds or of privileges and comforts that grow in the covenant of grace. He is not a rose locked up in a garden, but all may come and receive benefit by him and comfort in him. For he is a lily of whiteness, a lily of the valleys for sweetness, for those which call so yield a strong perfume. He is a lily of the valleys or of low places. In his humiliation exposed to injury, humble souls see most beauty in him. Whatever he is to others, to those that are in the valleys, he is a lily, he is rose. That's interesting because, you have these high places too. And you can see that as you raise to the high places, you lose the position that you hold in a low place, because when you're in a low place, it's a common place. Everyone has access to it. It's like the hierarchy. Think of the hierarchy. There are those that are low in the hierarchy and those that are high in the hierarchy. When you are high in the hierarchy, you have a lot to lose, Michael. A lot to lose.
Yeah.
So you constantly have to be working to keep your estate and make sure that you have more than your neighbor, whatever.
So always they will have a a false Bible interpretation as Sharon being the rose of the valley, and so Sharon Tate and Rosicrucians and all the stuff. You see, they will always refer to any materialistic stuff. They will never ever refer to a spiritual thing, because they are being bound to their God, so-called, to speak, little g.
And see, that's doctrine
Satan.
for you, Michael. Yeah. That is doctrine. You can read it the way that it's presented in that script, but then when you do your own research and you read and study the Bible on your own, you might find it a little different.
Yeah, that's very important to know. That's a very important fact. I would always suggest people to do their own research and to read the Bible alone and to ask for the guidance of the Holy Spirit.
Oh, it's
because
interesting. Sorry, Michael, I have a cousin named Sharon, and I thought about her, and I was thinking, well, it's just, she's had a lot of troubles, but she's the same age as me. I've had a lot of troubles.
Okay,
and,
but I want,
I just think of that, that there's an innocence of that as well. You take the name that your parents give you, it's not supposed to be a curse to you. Your name, Michael, shouldn't be a curse. My name, Brett, shouldn't be a curse. But it does have it has a meaning. It has an implication. And, it says in the Bible that a good name, when you establish a good name, then that has a reflection on, your choices. So, yeah, go ahead, Michael. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. You see, but nomen est omen. You see that the name has some resemblance. Yeah, so you see the changing of name in the Bible from Saul to Paul and the like. Huh? But what I was trying to. Yeah.
Go ahead.
What I was trying to say is that the problem in this word is they always serve you an explanation, and mostly they believe it, but that's the wrong idea. You see that, for example, in the case of Kennedy, if somebody does not have any information, and just sees the silent movie, he will absolutely know that who is responsible for the killing because it's so obvious. But as you have been presented some lie before, people do not question the narrative. They do not question any frame. And that's also the problem with biblical explanation. If somebody gives you an explanation, then it's very hard to have an open-minded about it.
There you go. I mean, that's why, I've been talking with my brother, and he says, there is no such thing as unbiased. Everyone wants unbiased news and unbiased opinions, but no, there is no such thing. It doesn't exist. It's a fallacy. You're asking for something that is not even available.
That's very hard. You see, if you've been born into a Roman Catholic family and then you move to Hollywood, you'll be bombarded with doctrines, and when you will, how will you come out of it?
Well, I think it's what you said. If you don't have the time to study, if you don't take the time to study, then you're already in a bad position.
First of all, it's the will of God if you come out of it.
Yes, correct. Correct. Yeah. It's if God opens your eyes and allows you the grace and the mercy through the course of your life to have a window of opportunity to see it and perceive it. Because it says in Scripture that knowledge is more valuable than gold. Think about that. Knowledge. Mm-hmm. Michael, it's funny. I've never even owned a gold nugget my whole life. I have gold-plated things, but they're worthless. It's not like, I think that's of any, of course it's of a big monetary value. It's collectible, but, I don't know. It's a materialistic thing, isn't it?
We can go on and on and on and on, and even go on and on beyond any imagination about it, but we will never keep on with exposing all the lies that the enemy is pointing in front of us, because that is going on for thousands of years, and how shall we cover that in a few sessions? Yeah, you see, that is all lies here. Isis Freya becomes Christian Virgin Mary. No, I'm sorry. Mary is not a virgin anymore, but Jesus Christ has brothers and sisters, and she is not a Christian Virgin Mary. Yeah, we do not worship Mary. The Catholics are worshipping Mary, but we do not worship Mary. Jesus Christ just did not worship his own mother. Yeah. He said,
see, that's the problem, Michael. Since the Pope is quote unquote Christian, then you see all the Christians are the same. And they don't separate between Roman Catholicism and, Bible faith. It's just standard practice in this world, isn't it? Standard. You see it everywhere.
Yeah, the War of the Roses. Yeah. The House of Lancaster between the House of York. Yeah. The Red Rose, House of Lancaster. Then you can imagine where it all has been come from. Oh my! It's not since Christian Rosenkreuz. No. It's just.
Wow! Yeah, building of Rosslyn Chapel, bloodline of the Rose in Scotland.
Yeah, Martin Luther uses the rose symbol.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This symbol that they used for the solas, I think, was that symbol that we were pointing to earlier. I've seen it. I know for a fact that they use it. And to say that that's Rosicrucian, wasn't there people accusing Martin Luther of being a Rosicrucian?
I don't know. I know that this website is accusing Martin Luther of being controlled opposition, which is... it's strange, because if you would read the Book of Revelation, it leads to a wound which is not deadly to the church. But you see that, who am I to interpret biblical verses? I have to rely on the priest, right? Oh.
Yeah, that's the problem here. There's two schools of thought.
Yeah.
One school of thought requires a hierarchy and one does not. It's called, what do you call it now? High church versus low church, for example. That's one example.
Where to start? The Rose Cross. I just thought it would be more easy to go to Michael Meyer. Yeah, there is Michael Meyer, MM33, a German alchemist, astrologer, Kabbalist, and Rosicrucian.
Ooh.
Has nothing to do with the Bible. Yeah. Like Johannes Kepler, educated at University of Tübingen, place where the Rosicrucians Manifesto would be published. Hi. And John Dee, who worked with Holy Roman Emperor Rudolf Habsburg and the Rosenberg, like Rose Mountain. He was educated at the University of Basel in Switzerland at Paracelsus, Friedrich Nietzsche, and also stuff. He composed a wedding song for the Rosicrucian wedding of Bohemian King, hence Bohemian Rhapsody, which I have not implemented in our session, then King Frederick and Elizabeth Stuart. It's unbelievable. Chemical wedding of Christian Rosenkreuz to produce a moon child. Where do we know that from? It symbolized the Rosicrucian alchemical wedding of Lucifer, Satan, and Christ to produce a magical Christ-like child that would usher in the new eon. You see, this is all BS, but many people believe in all this stuff. So they believe that they can create life in having a male seed and a female womb, and then they create life. Yeah, sure. They are all created beings, and they don't want to worship any real...
Well, here's how it works, Michael. We already read that scripture earlier, I think in our last session. Was it, you quoted it, was it Corinthians or wait?
Was it Corinthians 4:4?
Second Corinthians? Yeah, that's the verse. You know that, okay, when you give yourself to the God of this world, you're given a reprobate mind. There you go. You're no longer in the faith. You're in the world, and the world is dictating to you truth.
Look here. Libavius accuses the Rosicrucians of using black magic. Oh, come on. Alchemists, what are they using then? First play of William Shakespeare, War of the Roses. Character is named Rosencrantz. Come on.
Oh, William Shakespeare, yeah.
Yeah. War of the Roses.
Yeah, that's right.
William Shakespeare, who has never been pinned down anything, most likely there. I don't. Yeah, later.
Oh,
later. Yeah. By the way, Shakespeare.
Yes.
Shakespeare, sonnets by God and Diver and all the stuff. There are so many people who are trying to decipher that. That looks almost like Nostradamus stuff.
Yeah.
Shakespeare's play The Tempest was performed at the Rosicrucian wedding of Frederick and Elizabeth Stuart, which resulted in the birth of Moonchild George I, Brunswick, Lüneburg, and eventually became the bloodline of Antichrist figure William V. Yeah, and many people say that Shakespeare was a fake, and they can prove it. I have looked up on a video, and I found an hilarious explanation, which seems to make much sense. The problem is that this is everything. The entire Christian explanation is totally inaccurate or false. So where to start? With people who are not in the spirit of Christ. Yeah, they want to explain truth. How come? They say, okay, you find in the writings of Shakespeare, and I believe that Shakespeare has been ghostwritten by some authors, not necessarily one, but some authors, and that must have been made by people who were able to read and write, and that was not the majority of people in 1600.
Right.
So when I say this is a gyro Christogram, it has nothing to do with the Bible, because the Bible explicitly forbids to worship
everything
any
to
images
do with
and
the
idols.
papacy. It's the papacy, Michael.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the X is always the denying of something.
Oh yeah, rejection of.
Yeah, all this the fallen cross or whatever you would like to say so. And P is not the peace symbol. Yeah, it's not the gyro. They claim, okay, these are the first three letters of the Greek alphabet. Sorry, did you ever come across the fact that the followers of Christ, they did use Greek alphabet letters? I know of some society who are using Greek alphabet letters. These are called the Greek Letter Society, and this is Freemasonry. So, that man who is very elaborate into his research of Shakespeare said, there was a emperor who suddenly saw a sign up in the sky, and he said, "In hoc signo vinces."
Yeah. Right, and this sign conquered.
Yeah, and that was the founder of Christianity.
Oh, brilliant!
Oh, brilliant,
that's just brilliant. That is. Oh,
that's what you learn in the Brunel Catholic University in London, of course. You don't learn the truth. That Catholic means universal, and that Catholic are serving images and idols, and Christianity does not know any symbol, also no fish or else for Christ. We know no symbols.
You're in Ratio Studiorum Central.
You're in Ratio Studiorum Central, yeah.
What do you expect, right?
He's referring to Constantine.
Yeah, of course.
As the founder of Christianity, he saw a sign in the sky. Come on.
It's not Christ. It's Constantine that started Christianity. That is just so far-fetched. Hey, but if you can sell it,
Christ said,
a professorship then.
Come on, it's so easy to rebuke that. It's so easy.
Yeah, it is. It's laughable. He should get an award for comedy.
When they tried to arrest Jesus Christ, what did Jesus Christ say? Would you care to read it?
Start from the beginning?
Yeah, please.
Okay, Matthew 26 and verse 49. And forthwith he came to Jesus and said, "Hail, Master," and kissed him. And Jesus and Jesus said unto him, "Friend, wherefore art thou come?" Then came they and laid hands on Jesus and took him. And behold, one of them, which was with Jesus, stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck the servants of the high priests and smote off his ear. Then Jesus said unto him, put up again thy sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled? That is thus. It must be. In that same hour said Jesus to the multitude, are you come out against a thief with your swords and staves for to take me? I sat daily with you teaching in the temple, and ye laid no hold on me.
These people will tell you, like this guy in the universities, they tell you that, of course, the emperor is the founder of Christianity on the apostolic succession, and what else they would like to come up, and soldiers of Christ, but they don't take the Bible as a spiritual book. And
it's the last thing they'd ever do, Michael.
Yeah, and then you have all these false interpretation, and here you see at the when they make Jesus as their captive. Yeah, Jesus said unto him, and I always thought it was Peter who was drawing the sword, but it's not important. Jesus said unto him, put up again thy sword into his place, for all that they take the sword shall perish with the sword. And this is in total opposition to the Emperor Constantine, who was been told as a sign in the sky, in the hoc signo vinces, in this sign you shall conquer.
That's right.
But it's a problem that people do not read the Bible. So, what else do they say? Yeah, in this sign you will conquer. So that sign is the gyro symbol. So they had to make a symbol in the sky, unless that anybody, like a prophet, would come to anybody and say, okay, I would like to establish a church, and on behalf of God's commandments and Jesus' two important commandments that you say, love thou neighbor as yourself. It has nothing to do with conquering with the sword. My. In hoc signo vinces, and that is the real explanation, in my humble opinion, of the Jesuit order, and not Isis Horus said.
Correct.
Yeah, because the Jesuit order is a military order. Yeah, so it has not to do with the first numbers or what else. This is just a counterfeit religion. So Catholicism is based on the counterfeit religion. It is not love thy neighbor as yourself. Moving on. Yeah, you see that Shakespeare was a fake, and I can prove it. That is so important for people, because that man is here explaining that churches in Rome, all over the place you find these IHH symbol. This is just Constantine. Yeah, sure. No, these are the Jesuits, and this is a sun symbol, because it's a sun religion.
He twists it all around, you're saying.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. And I found that so important to point a finger to the problem, that I have looked it up yesterday, very late, and implemented it in that script here. Yeah, you see, Shakespeare was a fake. That is so important to know. Yeah, IHS is a sign of Jesus. Yeah, that's absolutely false. It's a lie. Jesus did not do anything in secret. Jesus did not use any secret Enochian language. Jesus did not speak about any foreign tales. Jesus did not speak about symbolism. My. Yeah, but these people are being busy with Shakespeare. Why they are not busy with the Bible? Because they don't love the truth. Yes, what does it serve you in the end to know who really wrote Shakespeare? We are only doing the session here to put the word to the Bible, to put the people to the truth.
Well, I think that pretty much sums it up, Michael. Entertainment is more important than your spiritual...
Come on.
You see... That's where we're headed, right?
I just hit the wrong button, sorry. So I'm switching to this because it's just more pleasant to the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first 3 letters of Jesus, so Jesus Christ in the Greek alphabet, yeah. And this is just Shakespeare in the huge capital Life, and you see that it's Jesus' sake and all the stuff, and you clearly can grasp the things that Shakespeare would be written for somebody who's been reading the Bible, incorporating the Bible in it, and you can see that it has some ecclesiastic touch in it, yeah, with certain T's and it, I find that not so interesting. What I found interesting is the hilarious wrong approach to the Bible. That's more important than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? He said, he capital T or little t, obviously, a small t is the sign of a cross. You might not be aware of that is a capital T is also a sign of Jesus. Come on, Brett. It's hard to stand this. It's really hard to stand all these lies. Known as the Tau cross. That is not a symbol of Jesus.
No.
First of all, it's a murder instrument, and if it is a symbol of anything, then it's a symbol of Tammuz. And not
it's
of
like
Christ.
Eric said, it's the ancient electric chair. Why would you ever want to use that symbol?
Yeah.
It'd be like using the electric chair as your symbol. Well, yeah, we'd kill people on that.
Yeah, or a gun or what else, yeah.
Right. Same thing, yeah. Yeah, man.
Known as the Tau cross, yeah. You see that is a... My.
Yeah.
You got one symbol, you got 3 T's in Shakespeare, and so that is representing 3. 3 by 3 are 9, which is Christos, 3, 3, 3, and which is 9, which is IX, and you see where it's all coming to. It's all coming down to gnosis and to symbolism, all the stuff, and now he invents that here Shakespeare sonnets, is the same as Gyro, as the symbol, and so therefore it has to do with Christ, because that's the symbol of Christ, which is absolutely untrue. Can combine G and ED and G and God and what else, you see that... this is a triple Tau, and the 3 T's together, they are creating a new T, which is the upside down T, and the triple Tau and clavis, and really, I had a hard time following that, but yeah. What about the Bible I wrote? The Tragedy of Othello, the Moor of Venice, written by not W but 2V. Yeah, like victory or the Roman numerals 5, or pentagram or what else. You can explain anything, with 3 T's. Yeah, but his biblical explanations are always false. Yeah, interesting enough, in that discussion, now it comes following. He said Royal Arch Freemasonry, actually the key symbol of Royal Arch Freemasonry. Shakespeare, he was deep in Masonic thought and language and symbolism. At least there's some truth in that presentation here.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's more about Freemasons' approach to the Bible than anything.
Yeah, you now know the reason why I have inserted it here.
Yes, now I do. Yes, the connection between Shakespeare and Freemasonry. Yeah.
Yeah.
He speaks of it right there in the last frame.
Yes, and shake and spear is also the content of a psalm, if I remember correctly. But it's not that important now. Yeah, if you know what is, it's important that it just takes you too much time to go into every nitty-gritty. But it's really interesting when you see all the stuff in it, all the wrong interpretations, and you can see that you won't get the truth in the university nowadays.
Well, unless you want a mystical truth, unless you want a God of this world truth.
Yeah.
Is what do the Jesuits say? A relative truth? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jesuitically trained Ferdinand II became Holy Roman Emperor in 1619, guided by Jesuit Wilhelm La Normandie. Of course, they had all their confessors. No? It's unbelievable. The Wewelsburg Castle near Westphalia in Germany, which also played a role in the mythical Battle of the Birch, was owned by Dietrich von Fürstenberg and taken several times, and that was also the Third Reich occult central, so to speak. Jesuit trained, Louis Bourbon, they're all Jesuit trained, or many of them, they are so-called princes, and they're not independent. Louis XIV, the Sun King, which has also his confessor.
Oh, him. Okay. Yeah, what was his name?
De la Chaise. De la Chaise, yes. It was Letellier, Jesuit confessor to Louis XIV, the Sun King, come on, really, who in the 1680s persuaded that monarch to revoke the Edict of Nantes, which granted religious liberty to Protestants. Jesuits as royal confessors, I think that you can make many sessions of that. Yeah, which granted religious liberty to Protestants, yeah. Yeah, which cost many people their life. But Louis XIV was so afraid not to go into heaven. Yeah, what heaven? Yeah, that in hoc signo vinces heaven or what?
Right.
So where to start with you see that we are talking about Freemasonry in general here, but Rosicrucians is just a cover up for anything else. The Jesuits infiltrate, 1714, the website says, Rosicrucians' sudden appearance of Templars and Scottish Jacob Stuart's allegiance among Masonic aristocrats. Sorry, I don't buy that, because I think that the Rosicrucians have been founded by the Roman Catholic Church. At least at their, or some people that are sympathetic, very interesting. The 18th degree of Masonic Scottish Rite is the Rose Cross, based on the Rosicrucians. The 18th degree, 18, interesting, huh? 666. 1888, 88 number of Mercury, Jesuit Josephine Péladin founds the Ordre Kabbalistique de la Rose-Croix in Paris. Yeah, you don't give up. Huh? And then you have the Order of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, which is using also the 5-pointed pedal inside the cross, and which Aleister Crowley belonged to, and many other things. Yeah, so it's absolutely, it goes on and on and on. Opening 1922, let's look it up here. No, there is Fabian Society creates socialism, the labor movement with a rose symbol. Theodore Roosevelt, also interesting, huh? Roosevelt, maybe something to it. He was at least a Freemason, if I remember correctly. Copycat. Freemason, yeah, Roosevelt, Freemason. Who is somebody?
Oh, that's a good picture of him.
Yeah.
It is.
The 30th.
Revealing.
Yeah, sure. Masonic picture, yeah. He married Alice Lee and Edith Carroll. Crowley married Rosie Edith Kelly. He was a member of Phi Beta Kappa, Alpha Delta Phi, Delta Kappa Epsilon, etc. Like J.P. Morgan. Oh, Freemasons, yeah. Gerald Ford, George Herbert Walker Bush, George W. Bush. And he's got the Nobel Peace Prize. Oh, he must be a peaceful guy, huh? Wow. This is a satanic word. Member of the Bohemian Club. Wow, like Stuart Menzies of MI6. There you got still James Bond stuff here in it. Yeah. He replaced William McKinley, who was assassinated by anarchist agents of Jesuits. That one of your presidents, obviously. Franklin Roosevelt, 1933, president of the U.S. Communists and Fascists. That was where the father of John F. Kennedy served as an ambassador to Great Britain during the time of Roosevelt. He was a Freemason. He wanted, Kennedy, father wanted to become president himself, but did not get lucky. Therefore, one of his sons had to do this. Orson Welles' Citizen Kane with Rosebud symbolism. 1951, Red Rose symbolism in Disney's Alice in Wonderland. And then you got the next one coming up. Sharon Tate, The Rose of the Valley, at the premiere of Roman Polanski's Rosemary's Baby. Come on, that's very easy here, huh? Rosemary's Baby. You see how everything is connected now? And it gets worse. Does not get any better. I will highlight it at you. Yeah, so the CIA banned to distribute any drugs for free for any experiments the Grateful Dead with rose symbols and rose tattoo, and then with a skull and some bones. Grateful Dead. Did Sharon Tate have a Grateful Dead? Yeah, because both have something to do with Freemasonry. And her alleged husband, Roman Polanski, had been directing Rosemary's Baby. So I'm sorry, but I can't live without all these rose attributions. Or maybe it is the same as in the case of these 007 China James Bond series, that it's just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence with all the roses. The Godfather with the rose and cross symbol. Huh? That's the cross, that's the Godfather, and that's the rose. It doesn't end like that. Are you still with me, Brad?
Oh, yeah. Guns N' Roses, yeah.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses and the Godfather with the rose and the cross. Yeah, Rosicrucians. Right. Yeah, it gets worse. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The rose, Harry Dean Stanton, which is a favorite actor of David Lynch, and the Purple Rose of Cairo with Mia Farrow and Woody Allen. And now it gets very delicious. Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction with a cross and Axl Rose in the middle. Okay?
Yeah. Sheesh.
And now comes the big one. This is Sharon Tate disguised as Patty Tate, who's then ravening, arguing against Guns N' Roses using a Charles Manson t-shirt on stage. And if you then believe in coincidence, then you will have to shut down your computer now. Isn't it so obvious? They must be laughing in their sleep even. Guns N' Roses making a song about Charles Manson, and Guns N' Roses released their new CD called The Spaghetti Incident, Patty Tate against Guns N' Roses, yeah, and added a Manson song titled Look at Your Game Girl to the CD, and that is disgusting. The Spaghetti Incident is the fifth studio album by the American hard rock band Guns N' Roses. The album includes a hidden track, a cover of Look at Your Game Girl, originally by cult leader Charles Manson. The track was kept secret and left off advanced tapes sent to reviewers. The inclusion of the song caused controversy with law enforcement and victims' rights groups expressing outrage. Rose, so Axl Rose, stated, "We wanted to downplay it. We didn't give any credit to Charles Manson on the album." Label president David Geffen commented, "If Rose had realized how offensive people would find this, he would not have ever recorded the song." And blah, 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 and more blah, blah, blah.
Well, you know what, though? You know how it works in the real world?
Can't do any short sessions.
No, but you know how it works in the real world, Michael. When you create controversy, you sell a lot more albums.
Can you imagine how many hours and days I'm busy with these rips that you see that out of a sudden this pops up, that pops up, that pops up, pops up, and then you see the entire, you see many pictures, and then you see the puzzle is slowly coming together now. He would donate all performance royalties from that song to a non-profit environmental organization and all the BS. The band is going to remove that song, and Geffen Records stated their share of royalties would be donated to the Doris Tate Crime Victims Bureau, which is the mother of Sharon Tate. Can you believe it?
Man.
Can you believe it? Oh.
Really?
Yes. That's Doris Tate. That's the mother of... yeah. Can you guess? Not of Patty Tate, because Patty Tate does not exist. It's like Michael Knight, yeah? So a shadowy flight of a man who does not exist, yeah? And that is the same as Patty Tate. Hi, my. An American activist for the rights of crime victims who was best known as the mother of actress Sharon Tate. Yeah, she's an actress, and her mother is an actress too. And her father or her husband is an American army guy.
Oh, man.
My. Her eldest daughter Sharon was at the beginning of a film career married to film director Roman Polanski. Oh, wait, we are not finished yet. So, there you got it. Guns N' Roses. Rosicrucians. Yeah, they're making a mockery of a fake actor here of Patty Tate, which is in fact Sharon Tate, the Rose of the Valley, Guns N' Roses, Rose of the Valley, Rosicrucians. Can it get any better than that? Yes, it can. This
I didn't expect that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. This maybe it's just a picture for bad taste. I don't know. But this is the album Red Rose Speedway of none other than Paul McCartney from the Beatles. Know that Luciferian band and Sgt. Pepper's and Satan's Lonely Heart Club's band and all the stuff. 666, Satan's and everything. Yeah, Tavistock Institute and what else? MI6, name it. There's Scottish McCartney, name it. Yeah, he has made an album Red Rose Speedway. Guess what? Yeah, it's been published on the 4th of May 1973. And as an extra, that song is the title song of Live and Let Die from the James Bond movie. But it must be just a coincidence, of course. During the sessions for Red Rose Speedway, he has also recorded Live and Let Die, and that didn't make it to the album, though. Yeah, but you see that that has something to do with the rose. Or maybe it's just a code for Harpocrates, which would be the equivalent of that dwarf in the Man in the Golden Gun. Well, that's Red Rose Speedway. Live and Let Die, which was number 2 in the United States in 1973. Live and Let Die is about a heroin farm and a boat chase. And I said, oh, heroin farm? Bruce Lee, anybody? Enter the Dragon? About an island where they're producing heroin to trade and distribute all over the world? That must be a coincidence that both Live and Let Die in 1973 as well as Enter the Dragon in 1973, they have something to do with a man with an artificial arm, and both have something to do with the heroin drug trade. My patience is slowly coming to an end. It is close to 1 a.m. in the morning, and I still have 25 pages to go, with all the coincidences.
Yeah.
See? James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the end, everything that is left of Mr. T here is his arm. That reminds me somewhere of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah, and you see the reference once again with the small finger,
pinky.
with the pinky finger.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Shigeru Takai, a former member of Yakuza, that would mean Japanese. The Japanese were there very enthusiastic about Bruce Lee, but on the Bruce Lee movie, especially in Fist of Furies, he demolished the Japanese karate school. And we have learned that Tom Baker once said there was an incident at the San Francisco airport where some Japanese have beaten up Bruce Lee because he was sleeping, because he had criticized karate. So I don't know what to make out of it, but it's very interesting that in 1973 some people came up with the same idea with anybody, a villain with an artificial arm. It's on the other side, it's on the right side, yeah, but in the Enter the Dragon it's on the other side. And this is just a sign also of the Yakuza. Talks about losing his fingers while a member of the organized crime syndicate in Japan. And that's the same as the reference in the 39 steps, which have nothing to do with Freemasonry, although it had happened to be shot in the Freemason country, Great Britain, which is slowly been taken over by the Catholics and now been ruled officially by the King Charles. And his moonchild, which Charles has been manufactured, what else you would like to say, with Diana. Diana is also a queen in the Roman system. Diana, Lady Di, died in the Alma tunnel. Look up the ritual.
Goes back to Babylon, Michael. Yeah.
Yeah.
Diana, right.
Yeah, look it up. Diana also been worshipped in Bath, the Order of the Bath. Send greetings to Peter Gabriel, or Tears for Fears on that regard. You see that we can go for hours and hours and hours, and this is just a member of a criminal company, because nobody would freely give his pinky finger. Of course, this is a trick most likely for that movie, but nevertheless, yeah. Now you got all the references that you need. The script originally was written by Charles Bennett, who prepared the initial treatment in close collaboration with Hitchcock. Haha. So there are some people behind the scenes. That movie of Hitchcock, once again, comes from a John Buchanan novel, This film, The 39 Steps, refers to a clandestine organization, whereas in the book and in the other film versions it refers to physical steps, with the German spies being called the Black Stone. Black Stone. Oh, the Black Stone. Black Stone is very easy, huh? It's like the Kaaba in Mecca. Black Stone always is representing Saturn. Or a monolith, huh? So 2001 and Space Odyssey. By having Annabella tell Hannay, that's the hero, she is traveling to meet a man in Scotland and produce a map, Hitchcock avoids the coincidence in Buchan's novel where Hannay, with the whole country in which to hide, chances to walk into the one house where the spy ringleader lives. Yeah, it's not much of an exaggeration to say that all contemporary escapist entertainments begin with the 39 Steps, which includes then, of course, James Bond. We're speaking about 1935 here, when Ian Fleming was not writing any stories. The 39 Steps explains, yeah. They had production codes, so Hitchcock could not show any sexual things or all the stuff. They had codes then. This called the production code, and there's a special name of it. I've forgotten that. Tippi Hedren, one of his female lead characters, says about Hitchcock, which was Jesuitically trained. He suddenly grabbed me and put his hands on me. It was sexual, it was perverse, it was ugly. Yeah, well, what do you say? The writer of that novel, I told you last time, sorry I've implemented it here, I did not recognize that, I have so many scripts, is John Buchanan, 1st Baron. Baron means mercenary. So he fought for the Roman Empire. Yeah. And therefore he's rewarded with titles, and he was serving for the propaganda. We know what propaganda is for the British war effort during the First World War. Likewise, Aleister Crowley did. So it's all the same. You worship Satan, you will get reward. Buchanan worked for the British War Propaganda Bureau. This is just all repetition here. Yeah, and then Hitchcock went on to become the 39 Steps. In Scotland, then it is. No? The man is in Scotland and he's in the lodge. And oh, come on, guys. If you don't see that as a reference to a secret society code. Freemason, or be it Freemason or Rosicrucians, I don't care, because it's all the same. They worship their god. Yeah, in a land which bears the resemblance, the flag, the mark of Cain, or the sign of Anil, which means that you get away with everything because no one shall hurt you. It's in the Bible, but who reads the Bible anyway? And if the Bible has been quoted, then, it's been written, it's been explained out of context or what. We're making progress here. Yeah, that is the coat of arms of the writer of the 39 Steps. Any questions? No. The missing finger is the Yakuza ritual of chopping off part one's pinky finger as either punishment or an apology. The reason this is done is the amputation of the little finger makes a proper grip on a samurai sword impossible, weakening him in battle and forcing the person to be more reliant on his boss for protection. And there you see it, 1973, somebody, like this evil character Han, portrayed by Shi Qian as the villain against Bruce Lee in his last fight ever on screen. Although you do not know if there are any private movies been shot by some thugs in the Tsimsha-Tsui district, nobody knows. At least we do not know. He has left his entire arm or his entire hand on that regard, which means that he was maybe a Japanese or what else villain who betrayed somebody and he left his arm. In the movie Enter the Dragon, he's running a heroin trade, he's running a complete island, and he's afraid of firearms, and he had a bad experiment, so you can guess, or the viewer should guess, that he lost his arm because he had been shot in the hand, or he has lost his hand, his arm. His hand, what else? I do not know. But it can also mean that somebody lost his left hand because he was not righteous, because it's the left side, it's the left-hand path, which means the path of Satan. In the Asian Rome, the left hand has been seen as dirty. So if you have a doctor have operation, he's operating and holding the instruments and cutting and what else with the right hand, and with the left hand is then soaked in blood or just been doing other things. But the right hand has been seen as the clean one, and the left hand has been seen as the dirty one. So I think that is very obvious for obvious reasons they're using the left hand. It's the same left hand they use in the Kung Fu series in the beginning. And now they are just having a comparison between Live and Let Die and Enter the Dragon. I think Enter the Dragon is much more stylish.
Maybe more realistic too, because I was looking at the photo of this man with the knives for his left hand.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like he's actually missing his hand.
Mm.
And in the James Bond movie, you can see that very possibly he's hiding his hand inside the device.
Mm-hmm. We will go into this deliberately. Yeah. A last word on Rosicrucians. When you see that Sharon is the rose of the valley, and you see Guns N' Roses made that remark, and where to start with all the mess? Yeah, it's Dark Clouds Over Alberton. That's a documentary from Chris Pinto.
Oh yeah, wow.
Yeah, and these initials on the former, and now they have been crushed for a certain reason. And does this remind you of a T?
Yeah.
It looks like the New Age 10 Commandments from their God. Yeah, so the God of this world. And the secret builder of mysterious guide stones has been identified. But that's not the big deal. The big deal is that it has been incorporated, that there is an inscription in these Georgia guide stones. Yeah, it has been engraved RC Christian. As in Roman Catholic Christian, that was also my suggestion in all the time. But of course can also mean Rosicrucian Christian Rosenkreuz. Aha.
Yes, true.
And you see, the Freemasons are infamous for what? For masonry, so for building something.
Oh yeah, masonry, concrete.
Masonry, yeah. Yeah, quite
You're
easy.
a mason, you work with concrete, typically.
Yeah, this is granite, but they have explosives, so they went away with that.
You have a trade that's called masonry, and then you have Freemasonry, which can be called masonry too. So it's kind of confusing.
Yeah, but it's also wrongly translated because at least in French, if I remember correctly, it's frères de maçons. So these are brother masons. Yeah, this is not free for liberty or freedom or what else, but these are the brother masons. Yeah, so.
Well, that's part of the thing is Babylon is all about confusion, right? So why not just
in German it's wrongly translated. It's called here Freemasons, like they are free. Yeah, it's also wrongly translated. Yeah.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's all about confusing us. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't care if it is Mr. Kirsten or who else that did. He served in the army, and he was active in the Fort Dodge Rotary Club. Huh? You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Where to start?
They're all over the place. They're everywhere.
They're all over the place. Here. Yeah, so you know that it's a Freemason in any kind of form. In that,
right?
Yeah. So that I just want to show that on the last example of the former Georgia Guidestones. Yeah, Rosicrucian Christian Rosenkreuz. That is my most likely explanation. But it can also mean Roman Catholic. And
sure,
then it can mean that Rosicrucian is only an Protestant masonry cover for the Roman Catholic Church, which comes to the same conclusion that all these churches serve the same purpose, and there is no real Christian church on this earth, because you don't have any temples in this world. You are the temple of the living God. Your body is the temple of the living God. That's it. That's what no church is going to tell you, because then they have no job, no profession anymore. It's you.
Well,
it's you and only you.
That's just it, Michael. It's not an easy thing, is it?
No. But it's just all over the place. This Order of the Rose Cross is just a masonry sect. Yeah, and they are just now implementing the New World Order. Of course, New World Order is not socialism but Satanism, and they have to control it by using the Inquisition to inquire anything. Therefore, they have installed the World Wide Web, the Internet, and in all cities all around this Earth, which is not a planet. And so they can inquire everything because they know about the habits, what you order, what you like, what you hear, what you listen, what you will. Yeah, and I think that on the scale of the Satanists and the people behind the internet, which is an invention officially of the United States Army, I think that we are ranging very, very deep below in their scale. Because we are Protestants and we are not according to their like. Yeah, so you have it everywhere. You have it everywhere. Red rose symbolism in V for Vendetta, yeah, which is here using the mask once again of the gunpowder plot. 1 o'clock in the morning. Guy Fawkes. Yeah. So that means there is no Amnesty International, no Anonymous, and all the stuff. This is all controlled opposition. William V, the English prince, becomes a member of the Rosicrucian Order of the Garter. Game of Thrones, that's a favorite computer games for many people. Yeah, it's also about the War of Roses. So where to start? Michael Meyer, Rosicrucian Manifesto. Yeah. Even Michelle Phillips from the Mamas and the Papas of the Laurel Canyon is just eating up a rose here. So you can imagine there is so much going on. Yeah, everybody who's then Rosemary's Baby. Yeah, Rosemary's Baby, Sharon Tate, The Rose of the Valley, Guns N' Roses. Come on. So it is Rosicrucians and Rosemary's Baby. And then, there are some much ties to the Masonic orders and therefore to secret societies in the case of Sharon Tate. Yeah. And that Rose McGowan, she played, for example, Jacqueline Kennedy. By the way, if I remember correctly, that Jacqueline Kennedy had some flowers between her and the president.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some roses.
Some roses, huh? Yeah.
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 And she was smiling.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, it must be a coincidence.
Oh, yeah. Just a coincidence.
It's all a coincidence. Yeah, she committed suicide in 2018. Where do you want to start in this world? This was just the introduction, because we are still in the case of Bruce Lee, and I want you to show the bigger picture. That's at least my thing, and I think we have done much Bible verses today, which I was not expecting, but I'm very thankful for that. So the official plant, flower, what else, for Texas is the yellow rose of Texas. And not the red rose. Red is the color of blood.
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice. She's wearing pink like Dissociation. Alice in Wonderland. And in the first James Bond movie, what we have learned is that somebody was handing over a new weapon to James Bond. He said, okay, your Beretta, it's nice and light for a lady's handbag. And Beretta being an Italian weapon. And I insist on the papacy being behind the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Not the mafia, not Castro, not the Russians, but the Vatican, because John F. Kennedy, as a Jesuitically trained American so-called president, did not obey the Pope. And so,
well, see, that's true, Michael. but it's the way the papacy does it is through influence. So the way Americans think, then he's not directly involved. Well, no, but he is influencing the people to commit the murder. Okay? So in the spiritual sense, he is behind the murder of JFK because he ordered it. Right, Michael? Mm-hmm. He ordered the murder of JFK. Yeah. He commanded it.
Look at the quote of Jacqueline Kennedy, if that quote is correct.
Every time we got off the plane that day, 3 times, they gave me the yellow roses of Texas. But in Dallas, they gave me red roses. I thought, how funny, red roses. So the seat was full of blood and red roses.
And when you then know that Dealey Plaza is a Freemason temple, then you have a big possibility that these red roses had also a special meaning. I'm signing off, and I hope that it will lead us further to the truth, that you see how much secret societies and codes are involved in the cases of Kennedy, moon landing, Bruce Lee and all the stuff, and we are coming so back to you. There are some sessions ahead of you which will really leave people in a state of disbelief, I think. But I hope that is just also the start of your own research into the Bible, that you really see how betrayed you were in your entire life by following news agencies, by following the mass media, by following all these journalists and all these people, secret societies and what else, all these controlled organizations, all these media outlets, all these fake researchers and all the stuff. If you really search it, you'll find it everywhere. Dallas being a capital of Freemasonry from the beginning, Dealey Plaza being a Freemason temple from Mr. Dealey, who was a Freemason running an own newspaper, restricted area on that day, using Italian weapons officially, and we have done more than 50 sessions about it. So I rest my case. I'm handing it over to my beloved brother Brett, because now I'm talking for almost, let me guess, 7 hours in English. Thanks so much for my English education, and I'm hoping you can close it down, Brett.
Oh, of course, Michael. Thank you for taking the time to go through all this material and bring it to the table. And, there's going to be a lot of people that will not agree with, what we represent or what we present in this study. But that's how it works. There's a lot of different points of view. There's a lot to cover, and we can't cover it all. So we're just presenting what we found, and what Michael's found. Actually, what I'm actually thinking off the top of my head today, that might change tomorrow. That's kind of how it is with research, and especially the faith as well, is that when you discover new things, it does change you. And that's what we hope to do, is discover the truth and make it new and fresh according to the scriptures. That is our ultimate goal. But for now, we are studying the history and the trouble that is, what can we say, entwined and misled generations of peoples in society, in our culture today. And that's kind of a big thing to do. It's not a small little thing. So bear with us, and we ask for grace and mercy and strength from our Father through Jesus Christ. And may his will be done. Amen, and bye-bye for now.